Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Kerry remembers the mortars screaming in over his head, and then ear-splitting crashes as they hit the ground and exploded. I nearly shit myself, he says. We knew there and then that these guys trying to kill every last one of us. John Gorman recalls sitting in a trench while a chaplain gave him the last rites. That's what he thought of our chances. It was very scary. I thought, this is it, he added. In September 1961, Kerry was a 24-year-old lieutenant and Gorman a white-eyed 17-year-old private. They are the part of Irish contingent by the United Nations peacekeepers deployed in the Democratic Republic of Congo or DRC to stop the country descending into chaos. Even at a distance of 55 years, their voices cracked with emotions as they recalled how their missions turned into a battle of survival in what was Ireland's first ever international military deployment.
Did you join President Chombi's army?
Well, I come from Johannesburg, South Africa, and I think the reason why I joined this outfit is I think it's about high time that communism was stopped in the Congo.
I come from Vereniging South Africa. I joined the army for 3 reasons. Firstly, for the money. Secondly, to fight communism. And thirdly, for the adventure.
I joined the Congolese army because I am in favor of Mr. Chombi, and then to get away from the wife and my mother-in-law.
The Siege of Jadotville. This true story of how these 157 Irishmen, led by a tactical astute commander, routed a force of 3,000 attackers, killing 300 of them, while suffering no fatalities and casualties. The Siege of Jadotville was echoes of 1879 Battle of Rockers Rift in Natal Province in South Africa, when 150 British soldiers repelled attacks by 3,000 Zulu warriors. The battle was immortalized in the film of Zulu. The Congo, like many African countries, in the years after the Second World War, had turned against the European ruler, Belgium, and declared independence around 1960. The new government was ill-prepared for its new role, and the UN Security Council set up the UN operation in the Congo to support it. Amid the chaos, Moise Tshombe, a Christian and anti-communist politician, supported by some Europeans, declared the resource-rich province of Katanga independence of the DRC. The UN forces found themselves party to a civil war between the central government and Katanga, which was also supported by Rhodesia and South Africa. Ireland, which had only broken free from Britain around 1922, now found itself defending other newly independent states as part of the UN, which had joined in 1955. As part of the UN mission, Kerry and Gorman's A Company of Irish Army's 35th Infantry Battalion was dispatched to Jadotville, a strategic mineral-rich town in Katanga, with orders to protect the mainly Belgian settlers. The UN forces were largely based in provincial capital of Elizabethville, 80 miles southeast of Jadotville. And initially, the Irish were deployed to the city's airport. In a move that has never been explained, 2 companies of UN peacekeepers, 1 Swedish and 1 Irish, had hastily withdrawn from Jadotville days before a company was sent in. What seemed like a simple mission ended up in a desperate life or death fight, pitting the Irish against a well-armed enemy, which consisted of Katangan troops supported by the European mercenaries and settlers who outnumbered them 20-1. Commandant Pat Kinlan, the wily, blunt, pipe-smoking officer in charge of a company, noted that deep levels of hostility to his men in Jadotville and began to organize a robust defense perimeter around their base. The 42-years-old officer ordered his men to dig at least 1.5-meter deep trenches, stockpiled with water and carrying their guns at all times. Commandant Pat Kinlan in Jadotville, just days before the siege began, on September 10, 1961. His instincts were correct. While most of his men was tending a mass on September 13, the Katangas attacked with the aim of taking the Irish as prisoners and using them as a leverage in negotiation with the UN. The Katangas attacked after other UN forces seized Katangan position and Elizabethville, a planned operation which had explicably been kept secret from Kinlan by the UN command. The Katangans has also taken a key river crossing that meant the Irish were completely trapped. The Irish were lightly armed with 60mm mortars, Vickers machine guns, shoulder-fired anti-tank guns, and Bren-light machine guns. They had 1 truck, 2 jeeps, and only intermittent radio communication. The Katangans had artillery and air support in a single Fogamanistry training jet. Sergeant John Monohan was the first to see the first wave of attackers coming. Monahan rushed to the nearest machine gun. He opened fire, and so began the battle. The Irish were hit by mortars and heavy machine gun fire and struck by the Foga jet. The same airplane later dropped bombs, damaging the Irish vehicles and buildings. As the shell and bullets rained down on us, I thought we were supposed to be peacekeepers. Now we are all going to get killed. The Katangas attack were driven back again and again. But they were getting close to the Irish position. I don't know to this day how we did it, says Gorman. But Kinlan was a master of tactics. Kinlan negotiated a series of ceasefire with the Belgian mayor of Jadotville to create time for the arrival of reinforcement or supplies. A Norwegian pilot flew his helicopter in with water, which turned out to be contaminated. But that was the UN's last attempt to help the Irish. The Katangans continued to breach the ceasefire, and without water and ammunition, the Irish had no choice but to surrender. They had killed 300 of their attackers, and 5 Irish soldiers were wounded. The Irish feared for their lives after the damage they have done to their enemy, but they were only held for 5 weeks before the UN could negotiate their release and return home in December. There was to be no hero's welcome. The surrender of a company was seen by some national embarrassment, which overshadowed the men's courage and competence. The treatment of the Jadotville troops infuriated the soldiers and their family, and led to a decades-long fight to recognize the importance of the battle.